everybody, and welcome to the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 5, Episode 40, and if you're keeping track, that's 234 episodes. And you know who's listened to them all? Deb. Hi, Deb. And I'm Sean.
And I'm Britt, and that is a damn fine intro, Sean. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We are good. We are back after a prolonged absence. A series of just crappy circumstances has delayed recordings. We've had problems with allergies, vacations. You notice that Sean is with me tonight and not Craig. Craig is sick, which is the other reason why, if this doesn't sound exactly the same as your normal episode, folks, I'm sorry. I am not the sound engineer on this thing, and so we're working it out. But hey, we are back. We're going to talk about the results of the football draft. But first, we start where we always start. Sean, I almost called you Craig because I'm so used to saying it. Sean, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Jungle Juice by Powder Hollow Brewery in Connecticut.
Oh, you like Powder Hollow?
It's pretty good. I like this one. It's an ale. It's not an IPA, so it's good to have a change every once in a while with all these IPAs out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it. It's pretty good.
Okay, you've had this one before. This is not new to you then.
This is my first 4-pack. So I've had 4-pack. This is the first time I've had it, but I've had beer from this 4-pack, so I have tasted it before.
So give me the 30-second of it. You said it's an ale. It's not an IPA. So is it more lagery?
It is a little bit lagery, but more malty.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So without I'm just trying to think of something I could a maltier beverage. In my mind, is something like a holiday ale from Two Roads, but with less holiday spice. Am I in the right ballpark in terms of style? It's more malty like that.
Yes, if you took away the holiday spices.
So what kind of flavor do you get out of this particular beer then?
I'm gonna have to go with a cinch favorite. Tastes like
it tastes like beer. Okay, so all right, so that's interesting. It tastes like good beer. Okay, well, I am drinking for the first time in I don't know how many episodes because I'm finally off my bloody diet. I'm going back on next week, but that's beside the point. I am drinking a can of Albatross Hazy IPA by Northway Brewing because I just got back from upstate New York. They are based in Queensbury, and yeah, I really, really enjoy their stuff. You've had Avenue of the Pines. This is the same folks that make Avenue of the Pines. This is their double dry hopped Citra Mosaic Amarillo IPA. I did bring some beer back for you. You are not getting a can of this because I'm pretty sure I just opened my last can of it. But it's very, very good. Very, very dry and hoppy. But I have some pleasant surprises for you.
Nice.
Because we discovered another brewery while we were up there called Common Roots that is in Glens Falls, one town further south from Northway Brewing, and man, their stuff was fantastic too. So I'll have some surprises for you when I see you next. But all right, let's jump into it because we've missed so much time. So much has happened. Let's jump into burning hot takes. You are my guest, so are you going to now? Keep in mind, if you go first, you have to have 2 different burning hot takes. But if you let me go first, I have to come up with 2 burning hot takes.
You will go first then.
Okay. I thought you might go that route, so I'm going to go there. We are in Dynasty draft season right now. This is like hardcore Dynasty draft season. Everybody, now that the NFL draft is over, I'm checking actually our league. We're not on the clock yet again. We already had a first-round pick. I'll tell you who that is later. Dynasty season is upon us, and this is the first time in all the years that I've done Dynasty that I have not seen a quarterback at the top of the list. The last couple years, there's always been at least one guy. Trevor Lawrence was the guy last year, who's always going to go in those first 2 or 3 picks. My question for you, Sean, who's the best rookie quarterback from a fantasy perspective, and how early in a rookie draft would you take him? Considering you have an even field, you don't have any burning needs at a certain position, you're kind of evenly distributed. How early would you take him, and which one do you like?
Well, again, I mean, if you're picking a rookie quarterback, I hope you're not having to start him right away. You're looking for some development. You're looking down the road. But from these guys, from this year, you're talking about, I'm sure. I'm thinking. I mean, going somewhat and saying I don't have any glaring needs.
Like you're not looking at your team and going, God, I gotta get a running back because my running backs are so thin.
Yeah. I'm looking at probably the guy with the biggest upside that was the reason why everyone thought he was going to get picked in the first round, ended up not. But it's probably Malik Willis.
Okay.
Having that time to develop, though, you're not going to pick him. He's
not starting this year. There's no question about that.
No. And first round guys, you don't really especially if you're picking a quarterback. I mean, look at Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, the guys from last year, Zach. You're not picking them to be your starter last year. You're hopefully you're picking them to be your starter for the future.
Yep.
So, but you're still picking them up first round.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing. If you're looking for right now, that's when you're going. Okay, what can I pick up in this later second round, third round?
Right.
That where is their opportunity for these guys? Which teams did they get picked by? Is their opportunity? This wide receiver got picked in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like that guy was it Noobs, I think, for Green Bay. He's in a good spot. Is he the best wide receiver? No, but he's in a good spot. You might get him the third round.
Is it Romeo Dubs?
Dubs, yes.
I might be mispronouncing his name. I'll be honest because I have not had a ton of time to look at these guys, but Romeo's his first name.
So, yeah, Dubs. Yep, Romeo Dubs. Not the best wide receiver in the class, but you know what? He's going to get opportunities.
I actually think there's two guys that are primetime ready right now in the wide receiver ranks coming out of rookies, but that wasn't my question. So we'll get to that.
Yes, I'm going back to your question. Probably if they're still there because, people get quarterback hungry.
Sure.
I pick them up, if you're not glaring needs, and see what happens. I'll pick them up mid-second round, late second round to third round this year.
Okay.
I'm not going first round with these guys this year.
Okay. So I'm going to go the different direction. I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett, who got drafted by Pittsburgh. The whole hometown kid narrative, which I alluded to when I talked to Craig about this the week before the draft, I think is really in play here. But more importantly even than that is the one guy who's ahead of him on the depth chart in Pittsburgh is Mitch Trubisky. I know you dealt with Mitch as your quarterback, being a Bears fan and everything. Do we really think Mitch Trubisky is going to be able to be the starter the entire season in Pittsburgh? I sure don't. I think that team goes 2-4 and loses to somebody they're not supposed to lose along the way, and all of a sudden they're gonna bring Kenny out and let Kenny Pickett just take over. So I'm going to go the opposite way with Kenny Pickett. And the reason I ask this is because in our rookie dynasty draft, which is going on right now, Kenny Pickett was the first one taken, and he was taken 7th overall.
Oof. Okay.
He was we drafted 6th and got one of the guys that I really wanted. So
let me ask this question.
All right, so go to yours.
A Pittsburgh fan?
Say again?
Or was he a Pittsburgh fan or desperately needs a quarterback?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know enough about the teams in this league. I think he is actually a Steelers fan. There's a Steelers fan and there's an Eagles fan in this league. And I know there's an Eagles fan in this league because we had, I'm drawing a blank on his name, the quarterback, the young kid. Who's that guy?
A lot of young kids.
In Philadelphia. No.
Oh, Hurts.
Yes, we had Jalen Hurts. We snuck Jalen Hurts from him in the first rookie draft of this, and we'd stashed him. We stashed him. He'd been sitting there, and every couple of weeks he'd send us a trade offer, and it'd be like, "Yeah, I'll send you Allen Robinson for Jalen Hurts." I was like, "No." And then there was that. I think it was a Monday night game. Jalen Hurts went out and had a disastrous game. I want to say it was against the Cowboys. I don't have it right in front of me. It might have been the Redskins, where he was like 5 for 15 for like 1 touchdown and 4 picks, like just like disastrous game. And that Monday, or that Tuesday, it was a Monday night game. That Tuesday, I go on, and I don't have an offer for Jalen Hurts for like the first time in like a month and a half. And so I sent a message to the guy. I'm like, "You didn't send me an offer for Hurts this week." And he went, "Yeah, man, I'm backing off a little bit." And I was like, "I can't blame you." And then somebody else stepped up and was like, and gave me a better offer and said, "This might seem lowball, but I think it's a good offer." And he sent me a better offer than the Jalen Hurts guy had sent me the entire year when Jalen Hurts was highly prized. It would be like a guy who walks in the door and goes, "I'll give you $2,000 for your car." And comes back next week and goes, "I'll give you $2,000 for your car." And he comes back in week 3 and goes, "I'll give you $2,000 for your car." And then he sees that your car has got smoke coming out of it. So he goes, "No, man, never mind." And then somebody else comes up out of the blue, pulls up and goes, "I'll give you $4,000 for that smoking car out front." Well, yeah, and say, "Listen, I know that thing's a piece of junk, so I'm only going to give you $4,000 for it." I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I traded Jalen Hurts that day, and the dude was angry. The Jalen Hurts dude was like, "Dude, I've been asking you for Hurts for weeks." I'm like, "You didn't offer me half of what he offered me."
Yeah,
So okay. So was that your question, or do you have another question for me?
That's go ahead. You go. If I come up with something else, I'll think of it.
Sure, why not? My other question goes back to Dynasty because we are in the middle of this interesting situation erupted halfway through the first round. The guy who has Allen Robinson, the same guy who was trying to trade him to us for Jalen Hurts, by the way, puts Allen Robinson on the trading block. Like right as the draft starts, almost like, "Hey guys, look, I'm ready to move Allen Robinson." Like he hasn't been trying to move Allen Robinson for weeks already, or years at this point. So I send him a message, and I said to him, "I will give you my 3rd rounder this year." It's a rookie draft. There's only 3 rounds. "I'll give you my 3rd rounder this year straight up for A-Rob. I don't know what you're looking for since he's changed teams." Question the first. Is a 3rd round pick in a Dynasty rookie draft a good offer for Allen Robinson?
I mean,
did I lowball him here? Be honest.
If it was 2 years ago, I'd say no way.
Right. Well, 2 years ago, he was the number 1 in Chicago. He was a top 10 wideout.
Exactly. After last year, man, I would say maybe still too low.
Okay.
Maybe 2nd round. I mean,
maybe 2nd.
And this will go to my question for you.
Yeah.
It's like it actually feeds right into it.
Sure, go for it.
My question is going to be, the rookie draft comes up. How much value do you place on these picks?
That's an amazing. That actually is basically a subset of the question I just asked, right?
Exactly. For me, I don't place a lot of value on the rookie draft.
It's got to be somebody outstanding for me to put value on it.
So, for me to say, Allen Robinson, all right, it's a proven commodity. Yeah, I know he went down. But what are you going to get in the 2nd round of a rookie draft?
Yeah, not much.
I'd say 2nd. Yeah, I'll give you the 2nd round. I'll take Allen Robinson. Sure, why not?
So part 2 of this question to you, and then we'll follow into like the value question, was his counter offer. His counter offer was give me your 1st round instead, the 6th pick overall. Would you do that?
No. If it was the 2nd round, I think I would go there.
And that's what I was hoping when I said, "No, man, that price tag is way too high." I get that he's...
Again, 2 years ago, yes.
Well, I mean, he's also a Ram this year, and Robert Woods is gone. And yeah, but we haven't seen enough to make sure that that's going to be a good fit.
But yes. But, the production last year was pathetic.
But the argument being is that Chicago's offense wasn't as good as the Rams. I guess would be the argument against it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So come to the middle ground, second rounder.
That's what I was hoping he was going to do, and he just didn't bite.
Yeah.
So now to that question where you posed, which was just, where do you value these picks? It really depends in Dynasty where your team is. Right now, our team is in a place where we were in the playoffs last year. We were in the winner's bracket last year. I think we made the semifinals. We have a year or two left. We are really strong up top and really thin behind it. Like, hold on. Let me pull up the team that we're talking about here. Hold on. Stand by.
Hey, while you're doing that, I'll just say, it's like, again, yeah, you're right. It depends on where you're at. But if you look at these last couple of drafts, I mean, 2 years ago, who was the number one pick in these drafts? Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh, yeah.
That was not worth the number one overall pick.
And the guy who's got Helaire still won't part with him. He's like clinging to him.
Who was the second running back picked in that draft? It was Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, we have him, by the way.
That's where, you get your value. I mean, there's a lot of, looking at last year, yeah, the first 3 picks, pretty good. Like, what was it last year? You have, obviously, Chase.
Right.
Kyle Pitts, probably. He's going to be good. Was he worth that high of a pick? Who knows?
Yeah, so just for example of what I'm talking about with our depth drops off a cliff. So it's a super flex. So we had Aaron Rodgers and Sam Darnold. Okay, Darnold wasn't great in Carolina, but he was going to a new place, blah, 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 and Aaron Rodgers. Our backups are Joe Flacco and Jordan Love. Our running backs are Taylor and Darrell Henderson. Not terrible. Well, I'm still a big guy in Darrell Henderson. Our backups are Duke Johnson, Jalen Richard, and James Conner.
Yeah.
We've got like one guy at every position. And now I'm looking at it like I'm like, do I really want to go into the season? I'm gonna have to acquire a quarterback at some point because there's no way I can go into a super flex with Darnold, Flacco, and Rodgers. We've got Jordan Love too, but that doesn't help us if we've got Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
This team's gonna be bad this year. Oh my God.
Somehow made the playoffs.
It was a semifinal. Well, last year it was better. Last year it was way better. So, all right. So, by the way, our first pick in this draft, we took Chris Olave from New Orleans because I think he is going to be one of the ready-to-go guys right out the gate for this year. So let's move on to our primary topic, which is the fallout of the NFL draft from a fantasy perspective. So I jokingly said I would put money on Kenny Pickett being the first quarterback to go because I thought for sure he would drop to Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh would be looking quarterback because otherwise it's Mitchell Trubisky. So is it Mitchell Trubisky?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm like, that's just going to, and that whole hometown narrative was going to be too hard to pass. I wish, for whatever reason, the state of Connecticut did not give DraftKings and FanDuel permission in its sports betting law to take that kind of futures betting. Because otherwise, I would have put $20 on Kenny Pickett, and that was like plus 200. I would have walked away with like $400 on that because it was so easy. It was like everybody was so sure he was going second. He ended up going first. But looking at the rest of it, I'm looking at the Fantasy Pros rookie rankings right now, which is a consensus of 36 experts as of today that say if you're drafting rookies, here's the guys in order. I want to I'm just going to discuss some names here because some of this I was like,
It's funny, I'm actually at the same one.
Okay. So you're looking, all right, so then you're looking at number one is Breece Hall in New York, the Jets.
Yep.
He was number one in the sleeper draft that I just did. He went first overall, and all I can think to myself is, what the hell are they going to do with Michael Carter?
Mm-hmm.
Is Carter washed up? Is Hall the future of the Jets running game?
Yeah. I think Michael Carter is pretty much a
one and done.
I think he's more of a third down back. I mean,
they drafted him a year ago.
They did, but he wasn't not that high of a pick, right?
Wasn't he?
Oh,
Michael Carter draft. Oh, he was a 4th rounder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it was just opportunity that they got him
I'll ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you buying low on Michael Carter in case the Breece Hall experiment turns out to not work? Because I sure as fuck am.
I'll buy low. Yeah.
So you're sitting in a standard redraft, say 4th or 5th round, and you need a running back. And 2 of the names on the list right next to each other are Breece Hall and Michael Carter. Are you taking Hall over Carter?
Yes, I'm going to take Hall over Carter.
I'm so iffy on rookies.
They picked him 36th, which is a high 2nd round pick. They want him to be the ball carrier.
The second name on this list also stuck out to me, not because he's not great. First off, there's a lot of great names in this freaking draft. Like, everybody here sounds like they walked out of a goddamn James Bond movie, including this guy, Drake London. That guy is either a spy or a porn star. It's one of those two things. And Drake London is the top weight-rated rookie wide receiver in fantasy. They've got him at 2 overall, and everyone knows I don't follow college that closely, but I looked a little bit at this guy, and I liked everything I saw except where he went, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Is this guy going to be fantasy relevant in a town where they're expecting Marcus Mariota to be the pass thrower?
Well, this goes to what I said earlier in the episode here. First round, I'm not looking specifically for the player that's going to produce this year. Because they might not be the best player. They might just have the better opportunity. I'm looking for the best player. Again, if it fits my need. Bryce Hall, Drake London. If I need a running back, I'm going to go the Hall route. If I need a wide receiver, maybe I'm going London, or maybe I'm picking one of the other ones, but I'm going wide receiver.
You just made an accidental pun there. You said hallway.
Oh, did I?
You corrected yourself. It said the Hall route, but you started to say hallway, the Breece hallway.
Yeah. Not the right hallway, as Craig always says.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
But anyway, I'm looking for the future. Is he the best person, that's the best wide receiver in that class for me to be down the road? This is a dynasty. I'm not looking for just this next year, unlike a redraft league.
Right. For people who have no idea what that means, once upon a time, Sean and I are Mets fans. Sean's a little bit more of an optimistic Met fan than I am. I'm already predicting demise and death, while he's just reveling on the fact that we're in first place right now at the time of recording. During the lean years, though, the source of all people, after a particularly difficult loss, said, if I were the manager, I would stand in the hallway right now, and the left one would lead to the locker room, and the right one would lead to a pit of fire. And everybody who sucked ass today would go down the right hallway. And for some reason, that's just become like a euphemism, for lack of a better term, for when we just need somebody gone. When we see somebody do really terrible out on the field, somebody just looks at, one of us in our group will just look at the other one and go, that guy's going down the right hallway. And it's just the saying, that guy's dead. He's dead to me, basically.
And Cano, just so you know.
Yeah, Robinson Cano recently was shown the right hallway. Hopefully, Breece Hall doesn't end up in the right hallway. So, all right. So you're looking at the Drake London pick as a down the road pick, because the next name on the list,
because Mariota or the rookie they picked, Riddler, I think, the rookie quarterback, they're not going to be ready for him this year. So
no way.
Yeah. So you're not going to have Ryder.
It might be pronounced Ritter.
But anyway,
what I heard you say in my head was Desmond Riddler, and now all of a sudden I've got the Batman Riddler in my head.
So, it might not be for this year, obviously. He might not have the best year, but it doesn't mean that he's not going to be one of the best wide receivers in the league down the road.
See, from my perspective, I'm looking, and this goes to how I view Dynasty. Dynasty, breaking news, folks. Dynasty, when you're drafting and playing Dynasty, you're looking long-term. I see more value in trades with rookies. What's that?
Did we say that already? I don't know if we said it enough.
What's that?
Down the road. It's down the road.
Down the road. So I like trading. When this league started up, it was Zeke Elliott's second year, and we got him with like the number 2 overall pick when this was a Dynasty startup, and the offers started pouring in for Zeke, and Craig was helping me with the team, and I was like, wait for it. And sure enough, finally some guy was like, fuck it, I'm a Dallas fan. 2 number 1s, and I can't remember who else he sent us. It was a good running back at the time. 2 number 1s and this guy, and I was like, done. And Craig was like, I don't know, man. Zeke could be really good. Yeah, he could be. But you know what? So could those 2 number 1s. If those 2 number 1s aren't good, then we'll move them along. That's how I'm looking at this. I want a guy who's going to actually go out there and wow in his first year and be trade bait. So that you want to overpay. I want Drake London to go out there and by week 5, him be like the number 3 wide receiver in the league. And then somebody who's got Cooper Kupp and is scared as shit to sit there and go, hey, man, I forgot how old Cooper Kupp's getting, and, he's going to be out for like 4 to 6 weeks. Would you do Drake London for Cooper Kupp? Yes, I fucking will. I will take the guy I guarantee to get 1,000 yards out of this guy who had 5 good games. So I'm looking for those guys who are going to be quick hitters too. And that's how I look at it, which is why I want to talk about 2 guys I think are going to be quick hitters right off the bat this year. And that's Treylon Burks in Tennessee and Chris Olave in New Orleans. And again, I apologize if I'm butchering their names because, again, I'm just learning these guys. Burks is probably the most game-ready wide receiver I've seen come out of college. And again, I have limited exposure, but I've watched a little bit of tape. The most game-ready guy I've seen come out since Randy Moss.
Okay.
The pause there was for intent, by the way, because that's saying something. Most guys don't step out of the college ready to be a decent wide receiver. And he's in a situation where with a decent team around him, he could probably be a top 10 wide receiver this year. Is he going to be a top 10 wide receiver in 3 years like Drake London could be, which is Sean's point? Maybe not, but I don't give a shit what he's doing in 3 years if I trade him for buku bucks after year 1.
Fair enough.
That's how I approach it. But yes, you're right. I hear most people, and maybe this is why most people are better at Dynasty than I am, most people approach the long haul. I'm a combination of long haul and short game. I want a guy who's going to come out the door. So today, at the 6th overall pick, we took Chris Olave in New Orleans because I think Jameis Winston is just Jameis Winston.
Because Treylon was already gone?
Was he?
I don't know. I was just saying.
That's a good question. Hold on. The answer's coming. Join draft now. Yes. Treylon Burks went the pick before.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
The perfect example of the thing you're talking about is in the way I talk about these drafts is the guy I said would also be a great pick if Olave wasn't there, which is Williams, who went to
Detroit.
Who went to Detroit. Yeah, is he going to be great this year coming off of the surgery? Maybe not, but he was the best receiver in college football.
Yep. He just went 10th, by the way, in ours.
He went 10th?
He went 10th. I'm starting to eyeball.
I would have been ecstatic to get him 10th. Ecstatic. Because I'm thinking long haul. I'm going to have him forever, and he's going to be better than the guys that got picked before him. That's what I would have thought.
I'm starting to eyeball this Willis kid because you've been talking him up because he's still on our board, and he is projected to go. Oh wow, that's interesting. I'm looking at the projections on Sleeper. If the projections on Sleeper hold true, then when we come back up, Desmond Ridder would be the top person on the board. And we are going to need help at quarterback.
down the road and in the immediate future.
Well, so. If I can get one more year out of Darnold, then so be it. I mean, if not, it's a super flex. Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starter.
You are in the perfect spot to think about, okay, who can I get for next year? Which one of these quarterbacks is going to do it,
Yeah, I mean, if what's his name is there, Willis is there, I'm fine with that too. Is there any universe in which I consider Matt Corral, the Panthers rookie?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Because if Darnold doesn't start, it's going to be Corral, right? Is there anybody else there? Carolina Panthers depth chart. Who else am I worried about stealing? P.J. Walker and Davis Cheek. Who are they?
No, they did like P.J. Walker a little bit last year. He's the one that took over for Darnold when they wanted to go a different direction.
They've got him listed as the 3, though.
Oh, okay.
So let me ask that follow-up question from a dynasty perspective. You are in need. What's that?
After Corral?
Well, no, for going to the Corral pick. Let's imagine we get to that pick and both Corral and Ryder are there. Do I take Corral because we have Sam Darnold, and that way we definitely have 2 starters in our midst?
You can. Definitely. I mean, I'll truthfully say I do not know enough about those 2 particular guys to come up with I really think this guy's going to be a better NFL starter than this guy. So I wouldn't have any problem with that because of the situation that you're in with the, Love, Rodgers, and Darnold Corral thing.
Are you looking at the Fantasy Pros rankings right now? Scroll down to 27 and 28.
I did. They're right there.
Desmond Ridder and Matt Corral are right next to each other. So if we take Matt Corral, it's Sam Darnold insurance, right? And it's looking to the future. Or we just sit there and go, okay, we're going to suffer and do whatever we have to do with Sam Darnold for one more year because Desmond Ridder is going to be the future in Atlanta. Oh, my God. I don't know. And Craig has got a fever right now. He thinks he's some sort of hummingbird, so he's no use. We should call Cinch. Get Cinch on the phone. Let's figure out what the hell we're going to do with this pick because I honestly don't know. So, all right, so we talked a little bit about the hot. So what rookie in what you've seen so far, and again, we're just seeing these guys. What guy are you excited to see in the league? And you're like, okay, late rounds, if I can snatch this guy, who am I looking at? Is there a guy that sticks out to you?
So just so you know, I just looking at another ranking. The QB1 is Pickett, QB2 Ritter, QB3 Willis,
and then Corral at 4.
And Corral 4, but much further down.
The only reason Corral's even in my head is because we have Darnold already. It's the same reason we picked Jordan Love, because we all thought that last year was going to be the last year for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, and we were going to be able to sit there and now, okay, well, Aaron Rodgers signs in Minnesota, picking a random team. Aaron Rodgers goes to Minnesota. I can now trade Aaron Rodgers, or now I'm 3 deep. I've got the starter in Minnesota, the starter in Green Bay, and the starter in Carolina. I thought we were going to have accidental depth. Instead, what we have is the exact Green Bay depth chart. And now we're in a situation where we need 2 starters because Sam Darnold is ridiculously bad, and we only have 2 guys on the same team. So now I'm sitting there saying to myself, well, if I need Darnold insurance, Matt Corral is Darnold insurance. But
So, we'll talk about that another time. No.
This pick is going to come up at like midnight.
I know. Back to the question that you actually asked me.
I did?
Yes, of who I would want. Who's going to who that would fall to me that I would be ecstatic for, kind of something like that.
Sure.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, if there's a guy late round, who's a late round guy you would love to just grab and hope?
I mean, to tell you the truth, I definitely go with like the guys that were injured, did well earlier maybe in their career. Something, stuff happened to where, they fell in the draft maybe. So something, like
Tyreek Hill did.
Even though he's rated 10th on Fantasy Pros, Pickens was picked later in the draft. But his potential is really good. Another one would be, and it truthfully is a guy that didn't even get drafted.
Say it.
But your darn Kansas City Chiefs.
Say it. Say his name.
Up signing him.
Sky Moore.
Well, no, that's who he.
That's the guy we drafted.
So and then he's gonna be going in the top 10 of the draft, probably, maybe even because of his opportunity. But
he's still on the board in our Dynasty, by the way.
Yeah, he is going to be good as well. I mean, if he drops to me in the second round, I'm definitely taking him. The other guy, oh my God, what's his name? But I'm thinking like third round. It's the guy. Where is he?
The free agent rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You're not thinking Justin Ross.
Justin Ross. I was so upset with the Bears for not picking him in the 7th round.
Yeah.
And this guy has the skills to be I don't want to say number 1, number 2 receiver, but picked up that late. I would love to have him. I'll pick him up. Maybe I even pick him up after the draft because people might not. I'll do it 3rd round just to see, because I think he, has great potential.
My guy is going to sound insane, but I was attracted to this guy because of his name. Mm-hmm. And the more I thought about the situation, the more I thought, this guy is the most stash and hope rookie I've seen in a long time. And that is Snoop Connor in Jacksonville.
Snoop Connor.
Well, what the hell? How could you possibly? Travis Etienne is coming off an injury. And James Robinson may not be on the starting roster because he might still be PUP when the season begins. So he's going to be, if Robinson starts on PUP, he's the number 2 running back against a guy who has never taken an NFL snap. Tell me that's not just the formula for like getting 2 or 3 good weeks out of somebody and then selling high in a season long, because that's absolutely what I would do. If he goes out there and he racks up 200 yards in the first 3 weeks and I get a phone call, hey, would you be willing to trade? Yes, I would. Because James Robinson will be coming back and Snoop Connor will be at his highest value point in week 3, and value is what I'm all about. Send me a decent running back in return, and you're sending me a draft pick, and we're done. Mm-hmm. So he is my late round stash and hope. Is he a last round pick? No. And I'll tell you why, because the freaking league we're in together, these guys have been doing it for 25 plus years, and they freaking know this. And this guy's going to go in like round 12. We have 16 rounds in our draft. Any other draft, he'd be around 15, maybe around 14, because no one guarantee you, and you know who's going to do it, right?
Wait, what's his name again? Let me write it down.
Snoop Connor. No, it's not going to be you. Because this happened last year, too. You know who it's going to freaking be? Mario. Who did he snipe us on last year?
Oh, God. Was it Amon-Ra St. Brown?
It was. I think it was St. Brown. So the story really quick. Sean and I, we walk around like it's a freaking it's like the freaking New York Stock Exchange when we draft. Everybody's talking to everybody else. Everybody's working on stuff. At one point, Sean just walks over to me and goes, "What are your thoughts?" And he points at a name, and I want to say it was Amon St. Brown. And I was like, "I'm thinking round 14." And he looks at me and goes, "That's exactly what I'm thinking. I really would love a shot at him, but I'm not going to pay up for him." Round 11, he goes off the board to Mario. And Sean and I just glare at each other. And Sean mouthed one sentence to me. And the one sentence was clearly readable on his lips. And it was, "It's too soon." And I just nodded. I'm like, I'm not willing to pay the 11th round. I was like, what the holy hell is he coming off the board that freaking early? And I feel like Snoop Connor could be one of those guys.
Yeah.
He could be one of those guys. So am I going to... What's that?
The other guy is the one I was saying, Dubs.
Yeah.
Green. I'd like to have him.
He's going to go earlier than that, though. I think he's a 10th rounder.
Yeah, I mean, he will definitely be a Mario pick.
Somebody's got to replace the Devontae Adams targets.
Exactly. Another guy I like is White in Las Vegas, not in a dynasty, not a redraft.
Right.
Because they're going to be looking to replace Jacobs next year.
Mm-hmm.
Then they drafted this guy White, so I think he'll be good.
One of the things, if you listen to Fantasy Sports Radio on SiriusXM, or you're a subscriber like I am to Fantasy Points, we don't get any kickback from Fantasy Points, but I just think John Hansen's probably the best. He's got the best group in the game, in my opinion. One of the big things he's always screaming about is vacated targets. When players move on, somebody else has to catch the ball. Aaron Rodgers is not going to throw fewer pass attempts, a significantly lower number of fewer pass attempts, just because Davante Adams is gone. It may be 10%, but that's still a number of targets that are out there that have to be replaced. Last year, Davante Adams was targeted 169 times. 169 times. Assume a 10% regression because they throw less because Davante Adams isn't there. That is still 153 vacated targets. That's 153 times that Aaron Rodgers over the course of a season is going to target somebody else. That's almost 9 targets a game. If you can figure out where those 9 targets are going, you just put yourself ahead of everybody else. And I think this kid could be some of those targets. Now, I'm not suggesting at all. What the hell's his name? It just went off my screen. Dubs. Or Dubes. However you pronounce his name. I'm going to call him Romeo because I like him. He and I are close like that. I'm not suggesting that Romeo instantly inherits all 9 of those targets. He may only inherit 4 or 5. But what other rookie on this team on this list is going to inherit 5 targets out the gate with a guy like Aaron Rodgers throwing the football?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. That's where I look at that and I'm like, okay, that's significant.
Opportunity. That's again why those later rounds in the dynasty, later rounds, opportunity.
Yes,
he's going to the opportunity.
He's going to have an opportunity. Now the argument against it would be, okay, that works for most people, but we've seen Aaron Rodgers pick his favorites. And if Aaron Rodgers don't like you, then Aaron Rodgers ain't going to throw to you. And that is absolutely true.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely true. But you know what? He's got to throw somebody.
But who's he throwing at? I'll pull up their depth chart right now. Does he trust Alan Lazard? I don't think so. He trusts Randall Cobb, but Randall Cobb's 150 years old. I hope he trusts Amari Rodgers because we have Amari Rodgers already on the roster. But, you look at this and you're just like, okay, where are those targets going? And that's what you got to kind of try to figure out. Sammy Watkins is not going to be the primary inheritor of those targets. Listen to me right now, folks. If you trust anything I ever tell you on this podcast, it's this. Sammy Watkins is not going to Green Bay to become an all-pro. The end.
The end.
Do you think Sammy Watkins gets an upgrade by going to frickin' Green Bay? I don't.
Not a huge one. That's why I'm a little higher on Dubs, whatever his name is.
Yes. And let's be honest, if we really think he's not going to be a long-term solution there, he only needs to have 1 game, and then you trade his ass. That's it.
Yeah.
Byron Pringle syndrome, I call that. But Byron Pringle's going to have an all-pro year in Chicago, so.
Oh, jeez.
I'm still not over that.
Oh God, Bears draft.
Yeah, should we just do this? Let's go ahead.
No, don't get me started on this. They did nothing to help Fields, and I hope he just doesn't go the RG3 route and gets hurt because he's got to scramble and run 80% of the time. But
I gotta send you a link.
Or what? Great. You needed another. You need him. They did draft offensive line, but much later. They haven't done anything at wide receiver other than Jones that they drafted, and that was a questionable pick. There was better people on the board, I think, and yeah, And they haven't signed any. They didn't sign Landry. They need to sign somebody still. And I think Fuller is the best guy out there. And I hate to say that.
Oh my God! So, will 2 games a year Fuller? Exactly.
Take a chance, sign up to a 1-year contract, and see what happens. Just so he can throw to somebody.
I gotta send you a link. The like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Fantasy Points guys. They do a roundtable discussion and then post it on YouTube after. And they just posted their NFC roundtable discussion. They get like 6 of their writers together and do just this gigantic Zoom call. And I was reading the summary of it. I haven't watched the entire call yet, but the summary, like point number 5 on the summary list was the Bears have gotten better at wide receiver. And I said to myself, Sean is going to vehemently disagree with that statement.
Their depth maybe got better, but their actual, like, number 2, I mean, I don't know. I mean, can you say that Robinson was so bad that he wasn't better than anybody that they signed?
Hey, Byron Pringle is better than Allen Robinson.
I mean, yeah, but he promptly got arrested like a couple of days after he signed with the Bears.
Who did? Pringle? Pringle's in jail?
And he got arrested for something. That wasn't like earth-shattering, but yeah, he got into trouble.
Oh no!
But yeah.
Oh, he was in Florida. Everybody gets arrested in Florida. Oh my God! Reckless driving with a child in the back seat.
There you
go. Oh my sweet Lord, Byron! Why? Why are you doing this to me?
And then our other big acquisition, Equamus St. Brown, or whatever his name is.
More vacated targets in Green Bay.
In Green Bay? Oh, God.
Not a ton of targets, but more targets that somebody else has to do.
So.
Oh, yeah. My God. All right, what's up?
Okay, so how about, let's go tight end with this rookie draft.
Why?
Well, is there anybody worth drafting? Again, you're not looking for now, especially with a tight end. Even Kyle Pitts, yeah, you're going to draft him early, but you're not looking for last year with him, hopefully.
All right, so I'm looking at the Fantasy Pros list to cheat, and their top guy is Trey McBride.
Mm-hmm. Arizona.
No idea who that is. And then Jelani Woods.
Right now, he's stuck behind Zach Ertz. But, so what do? Do you draft one of these guys and stash him?
Jelani Woods might be worth a late. Like, I could see myself using my 3rd pick in this fantasy draft, this dynasty draft for the Jelani Woods, because the Indy's going to need some tight end help. What's his name? Just retired, Jack Doyle. Mm-hmm. So, again, opportunity is there.
Well, the Dulcich that's in Denver. Remember, they traded Noah Fant to Seattle for Russell Wilson, so they need somebody there too.
Okay.
He was their pick out in Denver.
True. All right, we're out of time, believe it or not. We got to move on to final thoughts. I know that was our spectacular 30-second tight end rookie review. I hope you all enjoyed it. I he's right. I just completely overlooked them.
Which is just shortly, just a little more short than our actual tight end review in our redraft leagues.
Draft one. That's what we tell people. Draft one.
Every
year. Draft one. So,
I better tell you my second beer before we go away.
All right, what do you got?
I'm doing Boardwalk. Is a blackberry saltwater taffy IPA.
Boardwalk Brewing? Where the F is that?
Well, it's not Boardwalk Brewing. It is, it's called Mutt Labs.
Huh.
Brewing. I'm not sure where, but the beer is called Boardwalk, and it's a blackberry saltwater taffy IPA.
All right. Well, as you're drinking that, give us your final thought for the week.
Final thought for the week, which again, it's with the Dynasty draft.
Oh, excuse me.
Don't try to draft for right now, and especially the first round. I know that's you're going crazy. You're drafting your first round pick. You're in a dynasty league. It is for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
Do not try to draft a guy that's right now, unless you're Britt and you want to trade him 5 minutes later.
Which I always do, but that's just me.
But and don't get too caught up on the value of these first round or these rookie draft picks, because they're hit and miss. I'd rather, I'll trade a first rounder if you give me a very good, not I'm not talking about premier, but even a very good running back. So
agreed. All right, so my final thought is just I've been pestering Craig about this for some time, so I'm going to pester Sean now. Do you know what's happening this July?
July
27th through 31st in Atlantic City.
Oh, that's the National.
It's time to go to the National. Are you in? Are you coming? Are you coming to the AC?
I don't know. Don't know yet.
The last time you were there, you were not prepared.
It was an overwhelming experience. It was huge.
I always go back to, because Sean and I are retired World of Warcraft players, and there was a villain, Illidan Stormrage, in World of Warcraft, and that was his catchphrase, "You are not prepared." And I just remember poor Sean. Sean was like, "I want to get there early so I can hit all the tables." And I'm like, "Dude, you can't hit all the tables. There's like 450 vendors here. There's no way." And it took him about 30 minutes. He hit like 12 tables in 30 minutes just trying to go as fast as he could. And he was like, "I'm not getting through all this, am I?" And I'm like, "No, you're not. You've got to pick and choose. You can't sit there and look at the guy who specializes in pendants from 1950. You got to pick out who you're here to see." But there's names, Sean. Chipper Jones is coming. You love Chipper Jones. I'm actually looking. I don't see any Bears, which is disappointing. I also don't see any Chicago Bulls either. I know you're a Bulls fan.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Gore's coming. Piazza's going to be there.
Hey, Piazza.
Michael Vick. I don't know why I would want to
pass.
Hard pass on Michael Vick. All right, but we gotta get working on this, because the rooms are going to book up quick, and I'm already looking at the hotel list, and wow, Tropicana's already fully booked at $125 a night. If we don't move quick, we're going to end up staying at the Golden Nugget.
So the Golden. All right.
I'm not even sure that that's still even open. I think they're just like letting you just crash on the floor. So
it's deserted. We can do a ghost tour.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought the Showboat was closed, but the Showboat's on this list. They're one of the ones that are already closed out. Shuttles are not provided to and from the event. Okay. That's fine. I'll take a goddamn Uber. But, yeah. All right, so make up your mind soon, because we got to move on this. But what you know what? Other people need to move on. Other people need to move on leaving us a review. Wherever you look and find us, whatever podcast directory you use to find this episode, please leave us a review. It is tremendously helpful. If you would like direct feedback from us, please reach out to us. We are on Twitter. We are Fignuts DFS on Twitter, @FignutsDFS. If you want to email us, I check the email more than I check Twitter, honestly. We are fignutsdfs@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. We are the Football Fignuts Podcast on there. I want to thank Sean for stepping in for a very sick Craig.
Feel better, Craig.
Yeah, that poor bastard. And I'm going to throw him under the bus now because he can't defend himself. He's not, and I've just checked, he's not on the Discord. He's not going to turn on his mic and sound like he's talking to us from beyond the grave. That motherfucker, when he gets sick, it's not even, there's not like a scale. It's all or nothing. There is healthy Craig, a 10 out of 10 Craig, and then everything else is 3 or below. That's it. There is no in between. So when I checked him, I'm like, "How you feeling?" "I'm terrible." Oh my Jesus Christ. I sound like I summoned a demon. I mean, just go drink some Robitussin and go to bed. So, but we'll hopefully have Craig back next week. But we appreciate Sean for jumping in on late notice to get this one done. So,
no problem.
Everybody have a great week. We will be back next week. Am I here next week? What is next week? Next week? Yes. I'm done with my travels for now, so I'll be back next week. And if Craig still isn't well, Sean will probably be back next week too.
Who knows?
Who knows? Tune in and find out who will be actually hosting the show. In the meantime, we appreciate everybody who watched and listened. We hope you guys have a great week. Until then, my name is Britt.
I'm Sean.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast.